There have been millions of complaints, official inquiries, any number of watchdog reports, but whoever you blame, the simple fact remains petrol prices are going up, not down. If leaving the car at home isn't possible, then making the fuel go further is your next best option. Andrea Burns explains how Perth Council has been testing one local device with some promising results.
In medical terms, this would be the product that would cure cancer.
Roughly a 20 or 25% saving in fuel. So It's a win-win situation.
$1.50 odd a litre and prices still heading north. Week by week, the cost of petrol is taking an even bigger bite out of the family budget.
The spiralling cost of fuel is everybody's enemy.
While petrol's big boys argue they too are at the mercy of increasing world demand, the federal government's rolling out WA's Fuel Watch system nationally to try to help consumers cope with the crippling costs of running a car. But if our dollars aren't stretching far enough, now manufacturers claim they've come up with a device to literally stretch the fuel itself.
It's like the Viagra of all other fuel savers.
Dave Bignold from Moletech.
This one works on treating three different areas. It treats the cooling system, the air system and the fuel to work in tandem to create the end product of modifying the fuel, molecular reaction technology, changing the surface area of the fuel.
A larger fuel surface area means your car burns fuel more efficiently.
OK, Sam, so what are you going to do?
We've got these sensors here. We're going to fit these two sensors here into the fuel tank.
Murdoch University's Dr Peter Dingle says on top of a 20% cut in fuel costs, research shows solid environmental benefits.
It showed that all of the toxic emissions will cut down dramatically, saving on carbon dioxide as well, greenhouse gas.
One was fitted with a fuel saving device in December. Since then it's shown significantly less fuel consumption than the other.
The City of Canning agreed to conduct a blind test of the device in 2 vehicles over a 3-month period. Drivers had no idea whether theirs was the car with or without the Moletech device. The council's John Howley.
I travel about 200 kilometres a day and I haven't noticed any difference in the performance of the car, no.
Not only the same age, the cars did roughly the same number of kilometres. Council Plant Coordinator Phil Joplin.
Looking at the two figures now, one's definitely more economical than the other one to run, so it looks like the device must be working.
Council statistics showed the car with the Moletech device was using 1.1 litres less fuel per 100 kilometres.
Probably 18% saving on fuel.
The Moletech's one of many devices offering motorists relief. Brothers Daniel and Jack Oliver have converted their old Falcon into a hydrogen hybrid.
Originally we thought that we were just going to make this converter, put it on, it was going to be simple, but there were so many hidden things as to how much hydrogen that had to be produced to actually work, because if you produce too much hydrogen, it totally cancels out and doesn't work, so there is boundaries that you have to work within. Admittedly,
in the early stages of conversion, there were a few problems.
We had a bit of an incident in the shed where we lit it on fire and blew it up.
Luckily, the boys survived, so did the car. Learning from their mistakes, they've now created a real petrol-hydrogen hybrid. The hydrogen comes from ordinary tap water. When electricity is pumped through the water, hydrogen gas comes out. When that mixes with the petrol, it helps it burn a lot more efficiently, so you end up using less petrol. On an average week, Daniel goes through 1 or 2 litres of water and a lot less petrol.
I'm saving around 20% on the fuel bill, so if you're spending $100 a week on fuel, doing a bit of travelling, saving yourself $20 a week.
University of Melbourne's Professor Harry Watson wrote his first paper about hydrogen 30 years ago. He says hydrogen's both cheap and environmentally sound.
It certainly is the way forward because it allows you to drive without producing any carbon and therefore greenhouse gases.
We've got new vigour to try to keep the government honest on their promises of more money for the environment.
Dave Bignold wants the government to give rebates for petrol-saving devices as they do for immobilisers, solar hot water systems and rain tanks.
They can make a change, but they can actually also help drastically reduce harmful emissions in the environment.
The whole thing about being environmental isn't, no, it's not this radical group anymore. Everyone has to do it. But here is a way, as in most cases, that you can become more environmental and save money.
Test it. Don't believe me. Believe all the research. Have a look at the independent research from around the world and all the results.
More information is on our website, 7perth.com.au. Andrea Burns there. Wednesday night lotto is next with a jackpot of $1.5 million.